We got the males, almost lost to some Africans. Yeah, we almost lost to them. And the king had to save. The king had to save us. I know the LeBron haters are mad. We almost lost to the Ahi tribe. This is crazy. Man, Embiid over there, goddamn throwing the game. He throwing the game for his cousins and shit. We don't supposed to be losing to air up there. Come on, man. Cool Runnings? We're not supposed to lose to the Cool Runnings team. They don't even have shoes. They get their shoes from America. We got to ship them shoes. They don't even have basketball ribs, dog. Manubo, I seen he had to walk, what, an hour and a half to go shoot basketball. We losing to people who don't even, they got baskets in the back. They shooting on fucking peach baskets in dirt, no shoes.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to the channel. And as usual, it's a great pleasure to have you here to share some knowledge with you, to share wisdom together. So in today's video, I want us to react on a video that I have just shared. So in that video, that's a rather very well, disappointing, but more than disappointing, I think that's a very embarrassing video. So in the video that I have just shared, it's really heartbreaking for me, just to say the least. The guy in that video, the guy you've heard speak in that video, if you don't know, that's Gilbert Arenas. Gilbert Arenas is a former NBA player. I think he started playing in the NBA in the early 2000s and retired, I think, in the early 2010s, thereabout. He even played for, I think, the Golden State Warriors at such, a professional level. So that is what we can term as a professional sportsman. However, nothing about his behavior, as you have heard and seen from that video, portrays as, a professional sportsman, or nothing in that video does really portray sportsmanship. So recently, the USA men's team had a game with South Sudanese national team, I believe, and which of course the US won. But what was rather really surprising, not actually surprising, but actually what was so impressing was the fact that it was a very close call. For those that really got a chance to watch that game, or the results of that game, I mean, the US just won that game by a very, very slight margin. Now here's the point. Winning by a slight margin is not exactly, anything new to sports, but in sports we have different teams lie in different calibers in terms of, and in professional sports, experience plays a big role when it comes to being a favorite in a game and being an underdog. South Sudan in itself as a country is a very young country, probably the youngest country in the world, with I think barely 15 or under 15 years since they got their independence. And since then, they have been rocked with endless civil wars, left, right, and center. While on the other hand, the favorites, who won by a very small margin, we didn't expect that to happen, is the United States of America, who are the world best when it comes to that sport, And even with all the odds against the South Sudanese team, they managed to put up a fight, and they lost by a very small margin. You can check. Now, where is my problem? My problem here is the behavior, the condescending behavior of Gilbert Arenas. See how he is mocking and, just looking down on those young Sudanese boys who put up a fight and was so impressive. If there is anything that was so impressive in that game, is the fact that such an underdog managed to put up that fight. And that is how he behaved. That is how he was speaking, instead of coming out, in fact, as a sportsman in that very sport, to really appreciate and congratulate this young team, these young boys who managed to really fight to the end. South Sudan as a country, and in that sports, do not even have basic facility. They do not even have an indoor arena. Those so humble boys even came out to speak about that, how they don't even have indoors arena in back in their country, and they just don't have any facilities. They don't even have peace to play that game back at home, let alone the facilities. That shouldn't have been, according to me and many other people, should have been the behavior of a very mature sportsman like Gilbert Arenas. Now, my biggest problem is actually his general behavior is actually racist. If you might have heard clearly, he's being judgmental, because these are African boys that don't even have shoes. We help them with shoes. They don't have basketball courts. They don't have. That's so embarrassing of him. Now, what to add insult to injury, now that he himself, Gilbert Arenas, is a black person, it's unbelievable that he can say that about his very own brothers. I mean, I have been saying in my videos that we love the awakening that's happening with Africa and the black person, wherever that black person is in. But we are pulling all the energy, all the resources together to build this house for the black person. But do you realize that just behind our backs we have snitches, we have spies, we are our own enemy? It's like we're building the house, but just behind our back someone else is stealing the resources that we are accumulating for this cause. It's backbiting, literally. You cannot even I just can't understand why he would do this. He Gilbert Arenas is an American, apparently born to Cuban parents. But you know what? A black person is a black person. We in Africa do not, in this new age, for as long as you're a black person, you have the roots from here, from this continent. And we must fight together. Whenever we put up this fight and talk about Africa and empowering Africa and the liberation of Africa, actually in other terms is the liberation of black person, be they in Africa, be they in the Caribbeans, be they in America, in Europe, and wherever. This is a fight to liberate the black person. And we can't afford. Now, let me give a simple analogy with my cup here. So we are doing all we can to fill this cup with water. But do you realize that some of us are actually poking small holes? And you know what that means? It's going to take us long, and we might never be able to fill this cup if we continue poking holes just below it. Because in as much as maybe the input might be so much, however little the output is, it's still an output. And it got me thinking, man, how can we be, is he really I did not understand his behavior, and I believe that this could be part of his own personal problems, personal insecurities. But on the bright side, I am going to share with you another different video of how it's not only my problem. I'm not the only one who might have noticed that behavior, that embarrassing behavior with Gilbert Arenas. But I love it that the black person has come out, including black Americans themselves, have come out to call him out, because that is exactly what we are supposed to do. So let's watch this other video, and then let's come back and make maybe a conclusion of some sort. So here is that video.
I've been saying this since Gilbert Arenas started podcasting, bro. Like, he is not funny. He has to laugh at his own jokes. He literally brings his own laugh track to the table. Now, I understand it. Like, I respect his opinion on basketball because he was an all-star level basketball player. So you have to. You know what I'm saying? He played the game at a high level. But anything else that he talks about, you could just tell this man has no brain cells in his body, bro. He literally just was created to play basketball. And that's our problem. Like, we think because you are good at one thing, we think you should have an opinion, or like you have this platform now, you can just say whatever you want. And that's not true, bro. Like, he didn't have to say all that, bro. Like, we clearly know these dudes play hard. You know what I'm saying? He ain't saying nothing about how the USA almost lost to Germany today, or how they lost. You know what I'm saying? The way he kind of went too hard on them, and how, real talk, like, being racist against a good team. Like, that team had NBA players on it too, so it's just weird, bro. Like, the fact that he had to do all that, like, Gilbert Arenas, I've been saying this for a minute. Like, the man is not funny, and he just showed it, bro. He really is stupid.
So Gilbert Arenas made it a point to make a video offending, disparaging, and minimizing what South Sudan did by almost beating Team USA, the men's national team, the men's Olympic team, in an exhibition game. I think Team USA was favored to win by 40-plus points. In South Sudan, almost beat them, losing by 1. So instead of congratulating and propping up the fact that South Sudan, the South Sudanese, played so well, Gilbert Arenas comes out and offends those young men on that basketball team. Call them the Aki tribe. The Team USA almost lost to some, what Gilbert Arenas said, some dart shooters, basically. Talk about the fact that Sudan doesn't really have basketball shoes or You know, South Sudan is known to be rich in oil, rich in gold. Rich in gold. And it's been taken advantage of like a lot of other African nations. And they have a lot of internal conflict and internal turmoil. But that doesn't give you the right, or give him the right, to make fun of those magically melanated men that look just like him. That some of them come from probably worse backgrounds than him and worse challenges than him to arise to the point that where they are now, almost beating the best basketball team in the world. That's yet to be seen for this year, because you have a collection of talent and the best basketball players, that doesn't make you have the best team. But Gilbert Arenas, extremely disrespectful. And there was nothing funny about what you said. And I kind of question your mental faculties, my man. It's one thing to have an opinion, but you just downright disrespectful. You say some good things, but you say some dumb things. So you owe the South Sudanese basketball team and the people an apology. I think they just got their independence 2011 after fighting, and they're still fighting. But through it all, those young men playing for their country, playing hard for their country, representing their country, as far as I can see, the right way. Don't matter if you win or lose, but representing their country the right way. And I don't know about any of them taking guns to a locker room at work and threatening to have a shootout with a coworker at work. All praises to the Most High.
Okay, so when I went to the internet and I saw people calling him out on social media as well, many other black people, I was so happy when I, discovered that other people exactly saw what I saw. And I knew I was right. We cannot continue to fight. We cannot fight an enemy if we do not pull together and see who the enemy is and who your brother is, And this just really says a lot about Gilbert Arenas himself and a few other people like him. I'm sure he's not really the only one. There are a few other people, a few other black people that are brainwashed, or rather, that says that racism has been so internalized in us, in some of our brothers and sisters, some black people, so much that they pick that behavior. Sometimes even unconsciously or unknowingly, you start showing that condescending behavior. And what you don't realize is you're being a racist towards your own blood, your own people. That's shameful, That's very, very, very embarrassing and shameful. Maybe another thing is maybe the social and economical class differences. Sometimes when you have more resources, more money, you have more education, you come from a better, place in a society than someone else, you could end up, falsely thinking you're a better human being. That is another false thought, false idea that can perpetuate such behavior like this of Gilbert Arenas, towards other, between amongst ourselves. Maybe another thing could be, because it got me thinking, what could have really, why would he got these maybe cultural and regional differences sometimes, and we have different cultural practices and backgrounds, and maybe they could have played a role to him thinking he's any different from those Sudanese boys. Shamefully, he should have realized that those are who his exact brothers are, his own blood. But just most importantly, bottom line is, for me, I think that is his personal insecurity. When I talk about personal insecurity here, is when you behave like that, it tells that deep down inside, you have your own battles of maybe getting accepted with another different kind of community, social, another community. Maybe he is trying to get to be accepted by maybe the white people around him, his white friends. I don't know. And now he thinks of himself to be more of a white man. He's more white than the Sudanese boys, or he's less African than the Sudanese boys. That's nothing but, that's shameful at its at its least. So I don't think we really can afford to do this as black people ourselves. We can't do this to our own selves. It's, time that we come out and attack, such behaviors. call out such behaviors and stop these once and for all. Yeah, so I think we have come to the end of this video at this point. Share your opinions and your thoughts in the comments, and like this video, share this video, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet subscribed. So until next time, see you in the next video.